MindBlown Chef here with the video that's gonna blow your mind. This is Cooking Made Simple. Who's been told risotto is hard to make? Raise your hand. I have too. You know the hardest part to making risotto is you gotta stand right here for 20 or 30 minutes and go like this. Okay, for our ingredients, we have yellow onion, we have Romano, garlic, powdered chicken stock, which also comes in a cube form, butter, Arborio rice, a little bit of white wine, and a little bit of basil just for garnish at the end. Okay, so now for the most important part. I'm gonna show you how to set the dish up. The most important thing with risotto is having a good setup. As long as you're set up correctly, then it's as easy as sitting over here and stirring for 20-30 minutes. That's the hardest part, is just making sure everything's set up. So let's get started. So for your first step, add your chicken stock to a pot, and we're gonna go fill this with water, and we're gonna bring it up to a boil. Okay, so we have our chicken stock mixed with the water. It's coming up to a boil right now. It's roughly a 3-to-1 ratio liquid to Arborio rice. All right, next we're gonna prep our onion. Oh, don't cry, it's gonna be okay. That was such a strong onion. Okay, so they're the diced onions, ready to go. All right, now we're grating our cheese. Okay, so cheese is all grated. I have about 1.5 cups of cheese right here. Okay, now we're gonna prep our basil. We don't need that much, it's just for a garnish on top. So remember, like in the last video, you just take each leaf, stack it on top, and then we're gonna roll it really tight. And on the last video, I said I diced it kind of large. On this one, we're gonna dice it really small. It's called a chiffonade, and it's like the size of angel hair pasta. Just like that. And like I said, this is gonna just be a garnish for on top of the risotto. Okay, so our chicken stock's boiling, so we can turn that down all the way to low. And then grab yourself a ladle and have that set and ready to go on the side. Okay, so we preheated our pan. Pan's warm, ready to go. Let's add some butter in there. We're gonna let the butter melt down a little bit. And then we're gonna add our onions. Now my heat's on high. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down to more of a medium. I don't want to get any color on the garlic or on the onions. We're just gonna sweat them. If you have color on them, then they're gonna change the color of the risotto, and you want the risotto to come out a nice light color. So we're gonna go ahead and add the onions now. And for 2 cups of risotto, I just added about 1/2 cup of onions. Looks like that's gonna be plenty. Just a pinch of salt. The salt will help with the sweating process of the onions. Let that work down. When the onions are halfway to translucent, go ahead and add your garlic. Okay, so this is about what they'll look like. We're gonna go ahead and add our garlic now. We're not gonna need all this garlic. We'll just need like 1 table. Let the garlic work its magic in the pan for about 2 minutes, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so when you start getting that real heavy garlic aroma smell, that's an indication the garlic is nice and toasted. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our white wine. I added about 1/2 cup of white wine. What we're gonna do is we're gonna let this white wine reduce down to where the pan is almost dry, and that's an indication that almost all the alcohol has been cooked out. Go ahead and turn your heat back up and bring the white wine to a boil. Once it starts to boil, go ahead, reduce down to about a medium heat and just let it slowly simmer and reduce down. Okay, so as you can see, when you start seeing a ton of bubbles bubbling around, then it's time to add your rice. And we're gonna toast the rice inside of this pan until the rice will actually go from this white color, it'll start to turn translucent, almost like onions as well. Okay, so as this is cooking, I'm constantly stirring because you don't want the rice to start to stick to the bottom and then burn. But you can see here, it's already starting to slowly change color. So take a close look. All the alcohol has been absorbed. The rice is nice and toasted. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna slowly start adding our chicken stock and stirring continuously. All right, so now we're gonna slowly start adding our chicken stock. At first, go ahead and drop a few cups in. Because the pan is so dry, you don't want that rice to burn, so we wanna get it nice and moist. Add a few cups. So you can see right here how much liquid I put in for the first step. And as we're cooking this, what's going to happen is the rice is going to start to absorb the liquid. We're going to continuously stir, and then you're going to slowly add a little bit more at a time. And I will show that progressively throughout the video. Go ahead and turn your heat down to kind of a medium heat. And continuously stir. Continuously stir. Stir the edges. Stir all around. You don't want anything sticking. And then when it starts to get real thick, we're going to add some more, and I'll show you that right now. Okay, so still stirring, making sure nothing's sticking at the bottom. When you start seeing a lot of bubbles start to pop up, indication that it's getting thick, go ahead, add some chicken stock. As for vegetarians, you can also use veggie stock as well. And continuously stirring, and then we're going to let that come back to a boil again. I'm on medium heat. As soon as I start seeing a bunch of bubbles pop up again, I'm going to add some more, and I'm just going to keep doing this. This is our 20 to 30 minute process. Now, as it continuously starts to cook, you're going to notice it starts to steam a lot. A lot more steam is going to start coming out. So go ahead and just keep adjusting your temp, lower it down a little bit. You just want it to be nice and bubbly. It doesn't have to be aggressively boiling. All right, so we're about 20 minutes in. And you can see how swollen the rice become. That's a good indication we're almost there. We want to slow down on our adding of the stock, and we just want to keep stirring and let this keep continuously cook. Because at the very end, we're going to hit it with our cheese, and we're going to hit it with a little butter, which will cream it out again. Okay, so we're 30 minutes in now, and you can see how thick this has become. Nice and creamy, thick. And go ahead and taste it. Make sure that all the rice is tender. It should be nice and tender, no bite to it. We're gonna go ahead and add some pepper. As you notice, I didn't add any salt the entire time. The only pinch of salt was at the very beginning. The reason why is most of the chicken stocks that you get from the store are very salty, so we won't be adding any salt to this. And as well as the cheese we're about to throw in there is also gonna add some more salt. So be very careful with your salt. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add our cheese. I have 2 cups of Arborio in here. I just added about a cup of cheese. I'm going to keep mixing. Now, if the cheese makes it too thick, you can just add a little tiny butter, and what the butter is going to do is it's going to bring it back to that creamy stage. You want your risotto nice and creamy. Ooh! Sexy. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, thumbs up, subscribe, and leave some comments down below on dishes that you want to cook that we could cook together. Thanks for watching.